welcome in a man who not only is a big part of the history of this rivalry, but he coined one of the most famous quotes in Alabama-Tennessee history. Roger Shultz is with us. And, Roger, good morning.
Good morning, Gary. Let's get it going. Nothing sucks like a big orange.
And happy birthday, by the way, too, buddy. I guess you celebrated, number 30 yesterday?
Again,
yeah.
I did.
Hey, let's jump right in. Of course, people that follow your career know you never lost to the Vols. You were part of right in the middle of that 7-game win streak. In '86, you were redshirted. Alabama snapped a 4-game losing streak against Tennessee and Knoxville. And then all 4 years that you were an active player, you won. And it culminated with that huge upset in 1990. Coach Stallings' first year, coming off an SEC championship in 1989 with Bill Curry. You got off to the slow start, 0-3, but you were coming around. Still, though, when you went to Knoxville that year, you were huge underdogs. I think 17, 18-point underdogs. They were number 3 in the country, loaded with NFL players. Lee Corso with the famous phrase that you took exception to, that it was men against boys or a college team against a high school team, and you won the game 9-6. Now, make sure I'm correct on this. I think that was when you made the comment in the locker room that you need to start paying property taxes in Knoxville because Alabama owns Tennessee. Am I correct there? And if so, was that off the cuff? Was it pre-planned? How did that statement come about?
Yeah, it was. It's like we ought to pay property tax on Neyland Stadium because that was the quote. But I guess I was taking an accounting class and we were talking about property. I don't know how that would have come, but it just came to me right off the cuff because I think I was so mad at Corso. I mean, that was like, and it's so funny because Fowler years later, they were in Tuscaloosa. I guess it's before game day was really huge, but the game day was in. They were there, and I remember talking to Fowler, and Fowler's like, "Oh, Corso just said that. He knew it'd fire you up. He was an old coach. He knows what motivates players." Like, that's bull, man. He didn't think we were any good, and because Tennessee, actually their last loss before that loss was to us the year before. So in '89, after they lost to us, they went undefeated until they played us again. Like you said, they were number 3 in the country and all that. I mean, we had a tough time moving the ball against them and all that, and then we're fortunate enough to get the ball ricochet off Stacey Harris's face mask and kind of go 20, 30 yards the other direction. And of course, we had Philip Dole, who was, he was good. I mean, it's a great. Let me tell you, one thing that this team that Alabama has this year's not experiencing that I got the experience is that, man, if we got the ball 30-yard line, we're getting 3 points.
Yeah,
I can tell you that's about the only thing that I could experience that they're not. That's
yeah, that's about the only fly in the ointment under Nick Saban is struggling to find a place kicker. It seems like from year to year, everything else he's got covered.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I don't know if it really matters. I mean, it can come back to haunt you, I'm sure, but it's really not been an issue yet, and I guess we're all fearful of that day when it becomes an issue.
Roger, obviously the Auburn game was huge and still is, but I think for a lot of the modern Alabama fans, this Tennessee rivalry's lost a little steam. That's what happens when you win 11 in a row. Coach Bryant did it. Coach Saban's done it, looking for 12 in a row. But you played at a time when this rivalry was really heated, and of course it would become even more heated under Phil Fulmer when Tennessee started having a lot of success. But as I said, Tennessee had lost 11 in a row, but then they had won 4 in a row, 82 through 85. They were really good teams. Alabama felt like every year if they were going to get to where they wanted to go as a team, they had to beat Tennessee. You couldn't afford to lose to Tennessee midway through October and then finish out the season. Talk about what that rivalry was like at that time for you as a player. How did you guys treat it?
Well, I mean, we always kind of thought it was. I mean, obviously, Alabama and Auburn, the Iron Bowl is Iron Bowl. But definitely the Tennessee game was a rivalry game, very heated, very passionate. And at the end of the day, I think we dislike Tennessee a lot. It's hard to dislike Auburn, even though, it's a big rivalry. But, we kind of played with it. Guys played high school ball with each other, played against each other. Those guys in Tennessee, we didn't. We hated them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You just don't like them. And it is interesting how it's kind of taken a turn that, my son, who's a sophomore in high school, Tennessee's not been relevant. So it's not even a blip.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks they're Vanderbilt. You know, I mean, he doesn't know the difference. But man, it was a great rivalry. You know, it's a cigar game and all that. And I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's big time in that locker room now. You got to win the Tennessee game. And I would dare to say too, even if, you know, now you look back, it was funny because you mentioned that, like, kind of had to win this game if you wanted to have a chance. And, you know, I look back and we always beat Tennessee, and the game that always caught us was the LSU game. That ended up, you know, and now look at the LSU-Alabama game. I think the LSU-Alabama game has kind of taken over that next level rivalry.
Yeah, of course, one great thing is, you know, as a player, that's one of the beauties of playing at Alabama, particularly when the tide's good, is you're everybody's rivalry. I mean, everybody in this league.
Well, everybody wants to beat the guy on top. I mean, and you know, and Alabama's on top, and I mean, what Saban's doing is unbelievable, and you know, it's remarkable. You don't ever think that his team can get better, and then they do. This year's team's just, phenomenal. I mean, you know, there's all those guys on defense, and I know they're still learning a little bit on defense, but that's pretty good defense. And because you're talking about 3 defensive linemen, people are starting to stick out their draft stats, and those 3 defensive linemen is like the top 25 guys that go in the draft. I mean, so they're pretty stout besides what they're doing on offense. I mean,
you know, we remember the 90 game because of the huge upset and your famous quote afterwards. As I said, you were unbeaten against them. The 87 game when Alabama was also an underdog at Legion Field, and Jeff Dunn threw the 90-yard touchdown pass to Pierre Good, and I think Alabama was, Tennessee was ranked 8th in the country. Did you play in that game?
Well, Gary, shame on you. You have named so much. You've been right on everything you said today. I mean, you have gone into detail. Did I play in the game? I was a 4-year starter. Okay.
Well, I was trying to remember. I couldn't remember. You know, at first I couldn't remember if you started in 87 or not.
Yeah, I did. Well, what happened, I ended up starting in 80. Zuga started the season. He got hurt, and I started and never lost that position. But no, I started in that game, and it was great because my dad's from Chattanooga, Tennessee, so it always held like every time I'd go to my grandma's house and, you know, my aunts, they were all had Tennessee orange stuff all over. You know, they were big Tennessee fans. And that game was always real special to me just because of my family. And, of course, that game in 87, my opportunity to get to start against them. And I tell you the thing that surprised me the most when we played them was they had baby blue outline their numbers.
They sure did. That's right, yeah.
And I was like, I go, baby blue? Where the hell did they get baby blue?
Well, they did it for that was for television purposes. You remember, Roger? Because a lot of people in the press box complained, you know, you couldn't see those numbers. So that's when they went to the baby blue outline. I remember that well.
A baby blue outline, you know, they got black now, which is a little bit, I think that's more of a good color. But they had baby blue. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I looked at Jerry and I go, who? I said, I never, ever knew that they had baby blue in their uniform. I don't know if they did after or before, but that, you know, they had it then. You know, Tennessee always comes up with those crazy games. You know, one year in '86 we played them. Remember, and it was the all orange game, and they came out in orange shoes. Oh, those are man, we just beat the
56-28. Bobby Humphrey on the toss sweep. They still hadn't stopped it. Going down memory lane with Roger Shultz. A game I want to ask you about during your playing career, because I remember the '86 game well because I was there. I remember the '87 game. The 89 game when Saran Stacy went crazy. Of course, we talked about the 90 game. I don't remember much at all about the 88 game. I know Alabama won it in Knoxville. I don't remember much about that game.
I remember. I remember the game. I remember we played it. I know it was in the afternoon, hot. But it was a most lethargic, uneventful game. I think the score literally was like 10-3. I can't even. I just remember. I remember John Mangum, I think, had an interception for some reason. I don't know why that comes to mind. And I know somebody had like a long run on sideline. But other than that, you're right. It was up. I know it was up in Neyland Stadium. It was hot. But I don't remember much about it. Like you said, I don't. 89 obviously sticks out with Curry, and we scored 47 points on his 47th birthday. And 90 was, and then 86 and 87, of course, with Pierre, dude. That was a night game.
Yeah, that 88 game's one of those lost games. You played in it and don't remember it. That's just that.
I don't remember it. I don't remember. And the sad part, though, is I really remember the losses more than I do the wins. Like, I can't tell you really the scores of the games we won and stuff. Big C can. I can't. But I can tell you that when with games we lost, So, I mean, we didn't. Of course, the standards now is like, heck, we lost a lot of games, but we really didn't lose a lot of games.
This year, Pruitt's there coaching. Tennessee got.
I know it's hard to hate. It's hard to hate Tennessee when it's up there.
I know Tennessee.
I am telling you because I like Pruitt, and of course Will Friend's up there coaching, and it's like, man, because and listen, I think what Jeremy's done, he's going to turn that sucker around. You can already tell he's got it. He doesn't have crap, man, and he's doing the best he can. He's coaching those suckers up, and they're playing hard. I mean, they ain't going to have a chance against Alabama, but they're going to be pretty good, and just give them a little bit of time.
7 games so far. They've all been over by halftime. Is that your expectation for tomorrow as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, I assume that Tua's going to play. Everybody
That's the word.
Everybody acts like he didn't hurt his knee. I mean, he was in a tent. His mom was crying. I mean, come on.
Hey, I guess the good news is if something happens, he doesn't play. Hey, how many people? Nobody else has a backup like Jalen Hurts. I mean,
no. I mean, and that's the thing about it is like, I mean, if I were Saban, and obviously I'm not, because I'm sitting in a car in Foley, Alabama, talking to you, but and I know Saban wants to be in Foley, Alabama, but what's interesting is I think they could probably just rest Tua and just play Jalen Hurts. You're obviously losing something because Tua is so special, but at the end of the day, you're probably going to win. You may not win the game by 28, but you'll win it by 17 or 18. But
Roger, knowing Pruitt and Will Friend and those guys like you do, and Pruitt's got, he's got the Stallings influence in him. He coached under Saban. He knows that there's some things that they have to do even to try to – they're going to – I mean, you got to be able to throw the ball, obviously, and they did a great job of that on 3rd down against Auburn with those big receivers and man coverage just going up and getting it.
And it was interesting, too, man. They were like prayers. They were 50-50 balls.
Yeah.
They were about 100% on.
That's exactly what they were. Those big wide receivers just went up and snatched them.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretty. It was just out athlete them, and they did. It doesn't say a whole lot, but I think he had a little bit of time to do that. He's not going to have much time.
Right.
I mean, I know that it's going to be. He knows it. But I mean, the one thing about it, I mean, Jeremy's been around Stalin. I mean.
Oh, he's going to try. He's going to try to shrink that game. There's no doubt in my mind.
Right.
Of course, they got to get first downs to do that, but they're going to run the play clock down probably to about 2 or 3 seconds before they take snaps. They're going to try to establish somewhat of a running game. You know how he's going to try to play it. Obviously, they would love to force turnovers, maybe a wrinkle or two in the kicking game, but to have any chance to make it competitive, they got to shrink the game somehow.
Right, exactly. And it's kind of that's exactly what Jimbo Fisher's doing at Texas A&M right now. He's trying to keep the ball. He knows what he's got and what he's trying to get, and he doesn't have the guys to run his offense. So, and Pruitt knows that. He knows what he's got to do. But shoot, man, Alabama scored in a second. I mean, it's unbelievable. And by the way, it wasn't holding on Devontae Smith on that screen.
I didn't think so either. I just thought it was a great job of blocking.
That was the crappiest call. I was like, of all the holding, that wasn't holding. He had his hands inside the breastplate. As soon as he got stretched, he let go. I mean, that just drives me crazy.
I wiped out a long touchdown for Ruggs. Hey, before I turn you loose, tell me about your son. He's a heck of a football player, isn't he, Roger?
He's got some talent. He's got some skills. He's getting better every week. But he's a 10th grader at St. Paul's. We were at Spanish Fort for, his whole life until this summer. We decided to move over across the bay and go to St. Paul's for academic reasons. But I can tell you this, man, the academics is kicking his butt. He's got to learn how to study.
Hey, those Shultz bloodlines are coming into play here.
Yeah, it is. He's going to have to work harder on his academics and his athletics. I can tell you that. But he was doing really. He was a 4.0 student at Spanish Fort. But me and my wife he needs to be challenged a little bit because eventually he's got to go to college and he needs to be prepped. He doesn't seem to be getting a grasp of it, even though he had great grades. And, oh boy, heck Hello.
Hey, well, being a sophomore, and I've seen on social media how big he is. Is he got a chance to be a prospect?
He'll be a prospect. I mean, I think he will. You know, of course, I'm his daddy. But I mean, I've coached a lot and I've seen a lot. He's just, you know, he's got talent, and he's big. He's kind of checked some boxes. But he'll have an opportunity. Now, will he play at Alabama or a big school? I don't know, but he'll have a chance if he wants to further his career in college.
Well, he's got a heck of a program. We look forward to following him. Hey, always good to catch up with you, man. Especially this week with your history against the University of Tennessee. So I've enjoyed it, pal.
Hey, I'm about to walk in the cigar store, man. Is there any brand I should get? What you got anything special I need to get?
Well, get something Cuban, man. Only the best.
Amen. That's right. We only smoke the best.
That's right. All right, brother.
All right. Take care, Gary. Appreciate it.